everyone, I am Dr. Sonali and I welcome you all to CSC Core Concepts in the series of Learning Python. In my previous two videos, we have discussed about the conditional statements like if, else and match cases and of course about the loops like for loops and while loops and writing nested loops. Now in this video, we are going to discuss about some special statements which will help us to control the loops. Okay, in case our loop goes to an infinite loop, or if we want to have certain condition based loops, then how can we control the loops? Now here let's get started with the first statement, that is the continue statement. Now first of all, why do we require a loop control statement? That is to control the changing the execution from normal sequence. If a loop is executing in some normal sequence, because I have written some condition for I in something like that and it is executing, but for some values I do not want the loop to continue and then again restart, right? So to change the execution, we can use this loop control statements. So the basic one is the continue and another one is the break. These are the most popular statements. So now what does continue will do is that it will return the control to the beginning of the loop. Let's say I have written a loop for I in range 6. Okay, so when I will be 0, I will be 1, 2, 3. But here I have written when I is equals to 3, continue. So what will this statement do is that it will skip the print statement. For every I am printing number. Okay, 1, 2 like that. But when it will be 3, I am saying continue means again it will start, but it will skip for I is equals to 3. So shall we do it and see it? It will be very, very interesting to observe this. So let's say I am writing for I in range. Let's say I am saying 6. Okay. So if for each of them I am saying if I is equals to 3, I will say continue. Right? Otherwise, what I am doing is that I am saying print I. Right? I just want to print it. Fine. So if we see this, you can see here it will not, if I is equals to 3, it is going to, it is not following it, right? So for inside the for loop, I can print it. So it is giving me an indentation error, right? Why it is giving me an indentation error is that because I am not writing this print statement under any one of them, right? So let us first correct it. Let us see. So let us see here what we have done is that you can break it and write it if you do not understand the indentation part. What you do is that this is my suggestion to you, that if you are writing this for loop, right, then you have to do print I. You are printing I, fine. But you have to write one more condition before this print, that is if your I is equals to 3, sorry, if I is equals to 3, then you are simply writing continue. Right? Simply you are writing continue. Otherwise, you are going away with your print statement. So you can see 0, 1, 2, 3 is not printed, 4 and 5 is printed. Means for 3, it has skipped the loop. So you can see it is very, very interesting when you want some conditional based. Let's say for example, here it is a beautiful example which I have included, that I have given you a list of ages. Right. If the age, if for a wrong age means what? Invalid age is a negative age. So if the age is in a negative value, then I will skip it. I will not print it. Okay. And I will print only the valid ages. This is very interesting. Let's see. I am putting a list called as user ages. Right. So in the user ages, I am giving 10. It is a valid age. But minus 19 is not a valid age. Then I am saying 11 minus 50, 29 and so on, right? Now I can use a for loop for age in user ages, means it will go through this list. So if I find any age which is less than your 0, right? If age is less than 0, then I have to skip it. So I will write continue, right? You can give a proper statement also for skipping, right? It is very nice to print like this, right? Otherwise you can say, otherwise you are printing the age value. We will format it. First let us try this one out, right? So you can see 10, 11 and 29. Now here you can give a very interesting statement like print invalid age. You can say invalid age, so skipping. Okay, and you can write down the value of the age. That is which age you feel is an invalid age. Skipping minus 19, skipping minus 50, right? So it is very nice to skip and selectively print it. Another loop control statement is a break statement. Break is used to exit completely the loop, not skip, right? Say you are executing a loop from 1 to 10. So if I is 5, condition met, breaking the loop. So you simply say break and you come out of the loop, right? So it will exit the loop completely. So you can try this one also. Let's say for I in range, let's say you are saying 10. Okay, now simply you are printing I, but let's say for example you want to print it if I is equals to 5, then you will say break, right? Otherwise you are printing. So after 4 it didn't print at all. So this is how you can have break. Now breaks can be there in while loops also. So while your condition is true, you are executing, but if he has pressed exit, okay, if the user's input is exit, then it will break, right? You have done it. So while loop, for loop, anywhere you can use the break statements. Now even in nested loops also, let's say you are having two loops here. I is in the range 3, j is 3. If j is equals to 1, break means only exits the j loop. It will not. If you have written the break inside this loop, it will do. But if you had written break inside the I loop, then it would have stopped. So in the nested loop, be very careful which loop you want to exit. And inside that only you have to write the break statement. So what is the difference between break and continue? Break will exit the entire loop, but continue will only skip the current iteration. It will resume after the loop. Whatever is written after the loop, it will start. But program here, it will skip that loop pass and next pass onwards, it will continue, right? Now, if you, these are the different controlling statements. Now, suppose if I am giving you a program and if I am telling you that don't use a loop, right? Say print the square of the numbers from 0 to 7 without using a for loop, right? So these are the different ways by which, because when you write a loop, no, the program becomes longer and slower. When you will talk about execution time, so the program takes more execution time when you are writing loops. So there are other ways also by which you can do, like list. You can create a list. Let's say square every number in the list. So there are various methods. So first you declare an empty list and you are saying for a in range this, you are appending in the list. So there is no list. Okay, you are not creating, you are using a for loop. But if you are using a list, okay, so simply you can write, say b is equals to I square for I in range this. Print this. So using the list comprehension, and inside this you can using a loop, right? So using for loop, using numpy. So if you are using a for loop, square a number in the list where the range is from 1 to 6. So you can use it in a numpy package also. So these are the different ways by using the list comprehension. Comprehension means easy ways of making a list. Okay, this is easy way of making a list. What did you do here? You had 3 lines of code. But here in the directly only you don't have to call this append function over here. I hope you understood. What you are doing here, you are generating the value and you are appending it. Here directly it is getting inside the list, right? And this is what, suppose if you have numbers from the list from 1 to 6, right? and squares. You have to append squares dot append. You are doing this, right? And if you are using the NumPy, once we have used the NumPy library, I think for arrays, so you might have a brief idea about the NumPy library. So arrays np.arrange, it will simply directly take the values, right? So squares is equals to numbers dot raised to the power 2. So arrange is a array of evenly spaced values. You can write array also np.arrays, it will create an array. But if you are saying a range, okay, a range is the array of evenly spaced values within a specific range. So NumPy library has many functions. Okay, if you study in detail, you will get many such functions using which you can use this. So anyway, this is all about our loops and conditions. Now in my next video, we will move on to a new set of idea, that is using functions. When we have repeated tasks to do in multiple programs, so instead of writing the code multiple times, we can always call the functions and call them recursively also. So we will see about functions and recursions in the next part. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe to CSC Core Concepts, and stay tuned for my next video. Thank you.